another scintillating issue of Williams World. It's Friday. It's my day. I'm your man, Williams World. Oh, wait. Don't let me get too far. Let me back up. Before we get started, let me introduce my partner in crime, the man behind the plan, the machine that make the engine run, DJ Chuck B. Y'all know him as Charles Brakely. What's up, Chuck?
Yo, what's going on, Will? Hey, man, I'm excited about the show today, man. Like always, it's always a good time here on Williams World. So, hey, if you rocking, I'm definitely rolling. So let's roll, baby.
Now, how you want to do before we roll? Because we got a lot to cover. You want to do the commercial now, or we're gonna let it rip?
Yeah, we go to commercial right now if you want to. And this is our sponsor, the A Game. So check it out. For those of y'all that didn't see the new commercial, here's one of the new commercials anyway. Here you go. And that is the A Game, great for vitality, strength, energy, and libido. So if you want I got some more free samples. So if you want your free sample of A Game, give me a call at 302-723-2836. Again, 302-723-2836 to get your free sample of the A Game. You won't be disappointed. All right. You all right?
All right. Today we got a special guest. Our special guest, this is Mr. Tj Thornton. TJ is a senior business program specialist of workforce development. What's up, TJ?
Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for having me. Feel fortunate and blessed to be here. Thank you.
Oh man, thanks for making time for us. What's going on with you?
Happy it's Friday. Looking forward to the weekend.
Are we all? If you seen my paycheck. Anyway, I'm gonna get right to it and ask. I want you to answer this question: who is Tj Thornton?
It's a good question. Tj Thornton, I would say that I'm an individual that came from the inner city. Managed to get lucky, blessed, fortunate, whatever word you want to use, to make it out of that circumstances or situation. A lot of my friends, a lot of my associates, ain't as fortunate as me. And now as a grown adult, I'm somebody that's really focused on two things in my adult life. One, that's paying it forward with the mentorship that I received as a young adult, as a young man growing up. The people that went out their way to make sure that, keep me on the straight and narrow as best as possible. But definitely had a huge impact in my life and getting me to where I am today. So I'm definitely looking to pay that forward on a personal level. And then on a business level, making sure that I'm reaching back to open doors to people that come from where I'm come from, to give them an opportunity in the utility field. That's where I work at, in the utility field. There is definitely a business that's dominated by mostly white men, just to be 100% real with it. And is lacking minorities. So once I got to the position that I am, one of my goals was to make sure that I reach back and open doors for young Black and brown men and women to have an opportunity in the utility field as well. So if you're asking who Tj Thornton is, that's who he is.
Hey, that was awesome answer, brother. And exactly, what is it that you do for workforce management?
Sure. What I do is we like I said, we really have a issue with diversity in the utility field. No matter where you look at across the country, there's an issue with diversity. So what I do is that I create programs both at the high school and at the young adult level that's really geared towards training. First educating our youth and our young men about the careers that are available in the utility field, how to get into them. We create training programs to actually skill people up. so that they are a good applicant. We do a lot around testing with any utility company in the country. There's something that's called a CAS test. It's called the Construction and Skills Trades Test. It's very similar to the SAT. It's a test that involves, reading comprehension, mathematics, graphic arithmetic. If you're looking back to, the areas that I come from, those type skills wasn't really taught in school. So we make sure we go out our way to teach the young adults the skills that they need to pass that test so they can get entry into utility jobs. And the last component of what we do is we really go out of our way to try to find opportunities for you. So not only do we get you skilled up for, we also make sure that you have a job coming out of these programs. With the overall goal is that we're really trying to make we're really trying to reach back into the what we call the underserved communities or impoverished communities. I call it home, where I come from. Really make sure that we're trying to give people a chance to get out of those situations. And when I say get out, I don't necessarily mean leave where you come from, but just, increase your financials, your earning power. That's the key to making the hood better, to put it bluntly.
Exactly. Now, what is the percentage of, I guess, passing the CAS test and getting into these utilities? What's that percentage? What is the percentage like?
That percentage is probably around 30% nationally. The programs that we're associated with that we put on, that number stands like around 80%. So we got 80% success rate when you go through our programs of passing that CAS test.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
because it's hard to get through that CAS test sometimes. That's where you hear the hard stories at.
Yeah,
I see you ready to ask a question. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm listening. I do got one. I hear you, and that's a beautiful thing. But what I'm interested in more or less is, how do we get them to want to be a part of the program? A lot of times these days, that's the thing, getting them interested, because a lot of them think this is where it ends in the street. It's that, and my mantra is, I tell them all the time, streets don't owe nobody nothing. These streets was here before I was born, and they're gonna be here when I'm long gone. And the same for y'all. The thing is, what do you have in place rather, to get them interested into wanting to be in the program?
Right. That's a good question, right? Because that's probably one of the hardest things to do, because you're talking to kids and adults about something that they actually have no idea with. So you're trying to sell them on something that is great. It's a great opportunity because you work in it. They have no idea what a lineman or a gas man does. Like that's foreign. You're talking French to them. So trying to tell them about something that they don't know, telling them that what they do know, the streets is not the way to go. It is the most difficult. So we spend a lot of time and energy doing things like career days at schools. We got a great system set up, and that unfortunately was affected after when COVID hit, because we couldn't go into schools anymore. But we really had a great system set up, locally, that we was visiting high schools, middle schools, trying to get kids as early as possible to talk to them and tell them about these careers, really give them good detail about how to get in these careers. Obviously with kids, when you start talking about the money, that kind of gets their attention. So really giving them real life, like, hey, you ain't got to do X, Y, and Z to get money to have a good life. You can come, have a stable career, and you don't have to worry about wasting time, in a hospital recovering from gunshot wounds, or spending, 5 years in jail behind it. It's a really good opportunity to make a really good life for yourself. So that education and starting it as early as possible is the first way that we do it. Another real thing that we do is we're starting to do community events. So we get out at the community centers, the local community center, your Boys and Girls Club, your other community centers that may be in your area. And we really just set up shop there and just talk to people. We, banners, everything, bring the equipment out, let them see it, let them touch it. Like, hey, this is what we're doing here. It's a great career. It's a great skill set that you can take anywhere in the country once you're in it. You don't have to stay locally where you are. That skill set is transferable to anywhere. And, with this line of work, it's always going to be here. It's not something that's, we're always going to need skills tradesmen. It don't matter if you're talking about your electrician, your plumber, your carpenter, your iron worker, your longshoreman. You're always going to need those jobs in this country, because this is still a manufacturing country first. So, you know, just getting that information out to as young as possible to let kids know that you got another option. Because really, when you think about it, you got really two kind of kids growing up, right? When you think about it, you got the kids that they got their head on straight. They already know, like, hey, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to go to X, Y, and Z. This is my future planned out. And that's great. We want to support them. You know, we talk to those kids too. We try to engage them and get them involved in scholarship opportunities, internships, all that. But really, personally, where my heart is the kid that don't know what they want to do. You know, I really don't want to go to college. It's not for me right now. And especially in our communities, your underserved communities, those are the kids that don't see nothing else. And that's how it's real easy to get caught up in the streets. Because if you know you don't want to go to school, but when you look around you, you see the people that, you know, are still struggling and they're working jobs, but they're not happy. They still, you know, it's a terrible feeling to work 60 hours a week and know you still got to be on some type of government assistance just to make it work. That's the stuff that forces kids to be like, all right, well, I might as well take my shot at selling dope because, you know what I mean, either way, I'm going to end up broke here anyway. But really getting them early and be like, nah, you know, there is another option. And it's an option that we haven't talked about in our community probably ever. And, you know, this is another option now. So if you don't want to go to school, pick up some tools with your hands and make, you know, $120,000, $130,000 a year and be able to live comfortably and know that you ain't got to look over your shoulder for somebody trying to shoot you over it. Or, you know what I mean, you ain't got to worry about doing 5 years in jail behind it either. So I know recently I just had a conversation with some of the kids in my program because I'm not sure how local this program is, but in Philly, there was a real big rapper named AR Ab, right? Young brother, my age, 38 years old, just got sentenced to 40 years in jail behind it. So when that was the first example when that news broke was like, hey, you know, this is what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, it's cool. AR Ab had a good 5 to 10 year run where he was flashing money, you know, taking trips, all that good stuff. His rest of his life is done. So he had 10 years of doing all of that. And now he's going to sit in the jail for the rest of his life. Whereas, you know, people that work in this industry, guess what? We doing the same thing he doing. We got enough money where we could take trips. We got enough money where we could buy nice things and live in nice houses and, you know, all that stuff. And I still got my next 40 years. I still got it. Like, I'm not missing no time with my family and my friends and, you know, living out and all of that. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. And, you know, we're helping to give you an opportunity where you can make that decision that is not worth it to you either. Like, you can live a good life and be legit and don't have none of those concerns. So really, we're making a strong push into mentoring and then showcasing what it is that we do out in the areas that need it most.
Awesome, man. And you know what you said, that was perfect because when I was coming up, I'm in the utility business as well. And when I was coming up, I knew nothing about, you know, what a utility person did. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know nothing about, you know, linemen. I didn't know none of that, you know, but again, with, you know, with the help of, you know, like I said, what you're doing is great. So you can show people options. I always tell the kids this. And I know, like I said, if you're gonna go to college, that's beautiful. If your dreams are to go to college and pursue a degree, I'm not knocking that. But at the end of the day, are you going to use that degree, or is that just going to sit up on a shelf? So at the end of the day, I tell people, and I always believe in the trades anyway. I believe that if you didn't do so well in school and you don't have a scholarship that's going to take you through, at least a partial scholarship or a scholarship in general, a full ride, then college is not for you. I'm just going to be honest. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we'll go to college and we'll say, okay, well, I'm going to take this course and I'm going to do whatever. And I want to be this. But like you said earlier, you don't know what you really want to be when you're younger. And then at that point, is that major or that degree going to be good, you know, 2 or 3 years from now? You know, what about that position becomes obsolete? Then what you going to do? So again, I always emphasize on the trades or that are never, you know, you never have to worry about working again, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I never ever seen a recession. I remember we were going through a recession at one point or darn near there, but it didn't affect me at all. You know what I mean? So again, utility, I'm telling you, is definitely the way to go. So you know, I'm just, you know, great. I'm thankful for y'all even getting out there showing the inner city what we do, because a lot of people are looking, they're robbed by the road, say, oh, they're just digging holes, or, you know, they're just climbing a pole or whatever they're doing, and they think, oh, that's nothing. But again, we make really, really great money. And again, you know, it's something that we definitely need to be talking about in the inner city. You know what I mean? Because it definitely will change your life and change your situation for the better. So
yeah, case in point, Chuck, like what you said, like it's never a recession. So when, you know, most recently when COVID hit, A lot of people lost work. A lot of people were struggling to meet, utility jobs. We didn't stop. We was even more needed then because people were home more. So you needed your electricity, you needed your gas, you needed your telephone, you needed your internet. So we didn't stop working. So it's never something that's impacted by anything that's going on in the world ever. So it's a great career.
Yup. Hey, look, we got some questions we want to get to real quick. I don't want anybody to think we're ignoring them. So we got Kendra Moore. She says, "Hi, Kings. What's going on, Kendra? Thanks for tuning in. We definitely appreciate you." We got Diane Jackson. She says, "Hey, Hubie, what's going on?"
I thought that said hubby. That says Hubie.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah. And we got Kendra Moore. She says, "The start of change is giving people vision." Exactly. This program provides vision and a plan, which is incredible. Yes, it does, Kendra. Thank you for that comment. And Izzy says, "Hello, everyone. What's going on, Izzy?" See, we got people that speak to people on here too, so you gotta bear with us, TJ. We have a family here. They go back and forth. Kendra says, "What's up, Izzy?" Izzy comes back. There's his Kendra. "Hey, beautiful." And we got our main man, Brian Clark. What's going on? He says, "Heat, lights, water, sewer, telecommunications, all recession proof." Exactly. Indeed. So again, I tell you, like I said, we never seen a recession in the utility business. And again, I'm just grateful and humble that I found that, was able to, pursue that career in the utility. So, yeah.
And I'm gonna go back to something that you said, TJ. I remember this guy, like you said, he was doing pretty good for himself, and I asked him, what did he do? He said he was a lineman. I'm waiting for him to pull the jersey out his trunk and I'm like, for what team? He said, what? I said, a lineman, O-line, D-line. He said, no. And he went in and telling me all about that kind of stuff. And I was like, wow. And second, my cousin used to hook up cable illegal. Do he count as a lineman?
Don't put that on his app. He got the skill set already for him.
But yeah, you right. That is definitely essential, especially like during these times, because like you said, it didn't stop ever. Right. It was even bigger because everybody was pretty much everybody was homebound. So that lights, the heat, like Brian Clark said, that recession proof.
Exactly.
So I do want to ask, how did you become part of this program?
Whew, that's a story right there. Again, like I said, my internal passion is always around mentoring, because mentors, and one person specifically, I always tell him that I'm always going to shout him out every chance I get, because this man literally saved my life when I was at a spot where if I had stayed where I was at, and I had maybe a month before I was either going to be dead or in jail. So Mr. Lee Herbert, I love you to death. You're the man that saved my life. So I always shout him out. But one of the things that he did for me, besides getting me out of the city that I lived in and moving me somewhere else, was he was my introduction into the trade. So he was a small businessman who owned a telecommunication business. So that was my introduction into getting my hands on tools and working with my hands. So that actually gave me the training and the skill set that I need to get into a major utility company. Once I got into the major utility company, in the department that I worked in, I would say out of roughly 120 people that was in there was maybe 6 minorities. And as soon as I walked in the door, that didn't sit right with me. So, that's when I started on my vision of at the time, my vision was just strictly around the education piece of it, the getting the education out to the school that I came from is where it started at. Like, all right, I want to go to my high school that I went to and talk to kids that are probably like me. And then once the teachers heard about what I was doing and the word started to spread around, it kind of branched out. Different schools started calling, like, hey, can you come talk to the kids in my school, all the way down to the middle school level. So at that point, I started reaching out to friends and colleagues at my place of employment and was like, hey, let's do this. Let's try to turn this into a program. So over about a 2-year span, we probably had a rotation where we were visiting probably six high schools and 2 middle schools in a year, and that went on for about 2 years. Let's say that's around 2015, 16. So around that time, there was actually the Black Lives Matter movement, social changes going on, and utility companies as a whole started to take a look at themselves in the mirror and realize that there was an issue here. So, they started really wanting to invest in diversifying their workforce. So once that door opened up, it was kind of like, all right, now's the opportunity. Let's move on this. So, got involved, in the workforce development once I heard that opportunity was opening up and coming in. By that point, I had networked enough, made enough contacts at my place of employment, show and prove that I was somebody that if you let me in this, that, I had a passion for it. So it wasn't something I was going to play around with. So, once the opportunity presented itself, it was really just, let's say dedication is hard work and timing, so the hard work and the timing all aligned at the right place and allowed me to have the opportunity to get involved in workforce development. And I'm the type of person that once you let me in, I'm gonna try to kick the door open. So you're gonna have to tell me when it's time to stop. So luckily I'm at a point where I haven't nobody stopped me yet. So I'm gonna continue to try to push and kick as far as I can. But it was really just something that 10 years ago I couldn't see myself doing. But it is God's timing when your passion meets up with, it allows you to make money doing your passion. That's God's timing. So.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely, definitely. And and we worked together, me and TJ, we were together on Wednesday night, and just to see how the reaction of the youth that was out there and how they, took to like the different types of tools and machinery that we had out there, man, it was just really, really satisfying. I mean, they were just really appreciative and ask questions galore. I mean, it was a good time. So that's definitely needed, and we definitely need to bring that abroad. And again, man, thank you for stepping up and seeing that problem and taking action. You know what I mean? Because again, that's definitely what we need is people to start taking action versus just to talk about it and start doing it. And we got some questions out here that relates to that, so I guess I'll get right to that. Izzy was just agreeing with Brian Clark. She says you're right when he talked about heat, light, soar, recession proof. Also, Kendra says, what are some of the misconceptions about your field?
Ooh, okay. That light just came in tough too. Let me try to rotate some. Misconceptions. One of the main misconceptions about my field is that you have to go to school for it, right? So a lot of times people think the fact that they don't have a degree automatically knocks them out of the running. Like that's one of the main misconceptions. A lot of times the entry level positions in the utility field, really what you need is a high school diploma or a GED and a somewhat clean driver record. It doesn't have to be exactly clean. Mine wasn't exactly clean when I got in here, so it's definitely better now. But that's one of the main misconceptions. Another misconception is that you have to come into it with some kind of skill set or training or something like that. Really, what you need is the ability and the desire to learn your craft. Any major utility company is going to train you to their operations. You can be a 20-year employee at one utility company and move to another. When you go to that other one, you're still going to have to go through that company's training. They always train you in their safety procedures, their methods, how they want things done. So you really don't need any kind of real background. You just have to have the aptitude and the ability to learn. And those are some of the real main misconceptions about it. It's I don't want to say dangerous because the jobs are dangerous. I don't want to say that, but it's a extremely dangerous job. If you follow the safety procedures, if you do what you're supposed to do, wear your proper equipment, 99.999% of the time you're going to be safe. Now, nothing's guaranteed. There's always something that can happen, but people are a little nervous or leery about it because they'll be like, oh man, like I don't want to get electrocuted. Well, if you do what you're supposed to do, you're not. Like the procedures are like I know Chuck says it all the time. They're written in blood. They're written in blood for a reason because somebody got hurt and we learned from it. So if you follow what you're told, you're going to be safe. So it's not something that you need to be scared about. You don't need to be scared of electricity. You don't need to be scared of natural gas. You don't need to be scared of water or any other the things that go into the utility field.
And we call it we're gonna say hazardous because a lot of times you say that, you know what I'm saying? Because
there you go.
Right, you could prevent a lot of the stuff, a lot of it from happening. And we got Brian Clark. He says, when the world shut down due to COVID, utility workers never missed a check. That is so true, Brian. Hey, thanks for that. And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes, you know, people's motivation is the money. A lot of times you talk about, you know, being in the hood eventually is about getting money to get out. That's just why they, you know, glorify these, you know, drug dealers. They glorify, you know, selling drugs and making that money. So again, I mean, if this is what pushes their button to make money, this is definitely, you know, the career for them. Tom Robinson also says we have to start somewhere and give the inner city youth a vision that shows them an African American can achieve this with real examples. Exactly, Tom. And like I said, we breaking barriers every day with that. You know what I mean? And shout out to you too, because you know you're doing your thing as well. And I know you came in at a time like, you know, like all of us, as far as, you know, the racial and it's, you know, it is what it is. But again, we're doing everything we can to you know, break that barrier and do the right thing. Kendra says hi to Candace. What's going on, Candace? Thanks for tuning in. Robert Dickinson said, "What up, Kings? Live at the Poker Palace, checking temperatures." Okay, go ahead, brother. And Tom Robinson says, "Kids don't see enough of us to have confidence they can even qualify for the job." And you're right. Like, if you don't see this, you don't even know it exists. You know what I mean? So when you get there, it's like, wow, this is foreign to me. You know what I mean? So again, we definitely need to see more like that. You know, I mean, more things, you know, in the utility business. And Brian says, trained well to manage the hazards, just like astronauts. There you go.
Indeed.
That's what it all boils down to: proper training and PPE.
Mr. Robinson had a good point, because you know what's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the heroes to our kids are killers, drug dealers,
Right?
street. You know what I mean? So they do need to see more. You know what I mean? And see that, yes, you can make it. You have the platform to do that. You know what I mean? So I mean, he nailed it with that, because it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like they see the money or the rep. You know, that it's sad to say, but that is more prevalent to them nowadays than, you know, like, hey, you can get a job, a good job, and live a good life, a good long life. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you pushing this initiative, and that other people are chiming in with the same thing, because collectively as a unit, we can make a lot more noise. You know, strength in numbers.
That's definitely true. Definitely true. I want to go to these comments. They coming in big time. So Kendra Moore says, definitely more achievable versus becoming an NBA player or big time rapper, etc. Exactly. And like you were saying, we just said that, Will, as far as, you know, looking at what they see all the time, and this is what they, you know, this is the norm, you know, for us, you know, be basketball players, rappers, and all that. So again, gotta look outside the box. And
I tried both. They didn't work.
Right, exactly. And this is Chris Saunders Jr. He says, "Hey, Chris from the program. What's going on, Chris? Yeah, what's up, buddy? I thought you was coming. We were gonna have you on tonight, but hey, thanks for tuning in." And Brian Clark says, "How can people help TJ?" That's a good question. How can people help us?
That is a great question. I would say a great way that people could help, if you're talking about on a macro level, is that especially parents, if you have kids in school, you know, when at school board meetings, when you're talking to guidance counselors or principals, start to ask them about whether or not they have any kind of STEM program or any kind of program that's maybe partnered with your local utility company invested in the school. And this is not even just at like your trade schools or your vocational schools, right? At your regular not running the mill, but your regular standard high school. You know, push them to start having these kind of programs in your school, so the kids are hearing about it. You know, if you ask about it, they'll reach out to the utility company. Utility company will provide. And then that's as far as having some kind of standard in school curriculum that teaches this. This is the next step. You know, having a curriculum inside a high school built into it, that we're teaching kids about the utility field. We're teaching them about electricity, carpentry, water. And this is just not at your vocational schools, because, you know, your vocational schools can only hold so much. Another way that they can help is that when you're talking to your, when you're thinking about your vote, because, you know, when, again, I'm going to go real macro here. When you're thinking about your votes, when you're thinking about your local legislators, your local state senators, your representative, your city councilmen, you know, pushing the fact that they need to be pushing utility companies to make an investment into where you are. you know, making sure that they're keeping pressure on local utility companies to hire locally. You know, with that comes the utility companies will start to pressure some of their contractors. Like, hey, if you want some of these bids, you have to hire locally where you're working at. You know, so when you start thinking about who you're voting for, who you're supporting, you know, when you think about your local churches and your pastors, making sure that, because they often have the ear of people, making sure you're putting the pressure on them, like, hey, for all of these jobs and all these opportunities, we need to make sure that the people who live here are being a part of it. They have a seat at the table and they're starting to reap the benefits, right? It shouldn't be from people that's coming from 30, 40, 50 miles outside of your local neighborhood to be the ones that are putting up new electricity lines or new gas lines or new water lines in the ground. It should be the people that are live there, that are using those facilities, that should be the ones installing them, that should be the ones maintaining them, the ones that are seeing the wages from them, from that work being done. Because if you take all the money things in the side, it's a pride factor. If you, and when you see, like you said, we don't see it too much, but when you see Mr. Jones that live 3 doors down, right? And you see him out on your block working to put up telephone lines or electrical lines or gas lines or whatever, it's a sense of pride that comes from that. It was like, yo, Mr. Jones is doing good things out here, man. Like, it's realistic. I could be Mr. Jones in 10 years. I could be doing this, right? And so, you know, Mr. Jones will have more of an impact than drug dealer X down the block, because now the kids are seeing that they have options. But to answer your question, the more awareness that we have about these opportunities, these programs that exist, the more pressure we're putting at the local level for our leaders, our city councilmen, our state senators, our governors, our mayors, to really make sure that they're pressuring utility companies and contractors to invest in the neighborhood, the neighborhoods where the people are working. That is the first step to this. That's a great way that we can help collectively to push these efforts and give our youth more opportunities.
Wow.
You nailed it too. Because I'm a contractor. I work in the union hall, and a lot of things you just said is how we do a lot of things. I mean, you just can't come from somewhere else. You know, a contractor come into town and you're not taking us. That's not what. So, which you nailed that. We have to use that concept, like you said, with a different, you know, with these initiatives that we're working on now. And I think that would hit home if everybody, but the knowledge part, nobody has the knowledge to know these things, to say, hey, these guys, you know, hire these guys. They from the neighborhood, you know, let them and let it, you know, trickle down to the others, and hopefully it inspires them to want to do the right things too. That's a whole different show at best, you know, because it is, because knowledge is key. Because let's go back to talking about the linemen. I knew nothing about a lineman. No, the average person in the hood don't know what a lineman is. They don't know what a lineman is. So, like you said, the education and the knowledge, it goes a long way. You know, we got to put it out there, and then hopefully everybody got latch on, and then we start covering in numbers. You know.
Exactly. And let's be honest, if you're talking about in the hood, you're really, when you think about your electric company or your cable company, you think about, all right, is they about to cut my stuff off today? When you see a truck rolling through, you see it, you be like, oh man, whose stuff about to get cut off? Like that, it's crazy. Like that's really what you think about when you see it. Like that's what most people be like, oh man, am I paid? Am I late? Am I about to get cut? Like you don't even think about the career opportunities that exist there. You just worry about whether it's you about to get shut off today. Like that's crazy when you think about it.
Yep, utilities had that negative image. I remember back in the day when I was with another utility, and I was a turn on shut off guy, and I used to always go through like certain areas, and they would say, "Hey, you cut me off," so I would mess with them. They'd be like, "You cut me off." I was like, "What's your address?" They'd be like, 42. 42? You said 42? He's like, yeah, I'm going to come cut you off. Hey man, I'm going to go pay my bill right now. I said, I'm just joking, man. I'm just playing. Nah, I'm great. So they were like, well, you know, I had people ready to fight me, all kinds of stuff. But I used to have so much fun doing that, man. And you know, eventually, you know, I stopped because I don't know. Some people, they about to have a heart attack out there. You get ready to get your electric cut off. So you know, so again, yeah, man, I got some story. I got stories for days. I can go on and on, but I don't want to hold up the whole show with that because y'all be in here like, wow, that's crazy. Hey, we got some more comments out there, and let's start with this one right here. We're gonna go back to my man Chris. He says, I'm at work, but we are slow. I can't join, but if you do this again, I definitely will. All right, Chris, we'll have you on. Matter of fact, we want to bring back the students and let them talk about the program. That'd be awesome. You know, what they learn and stuff of that nature. So we could definitely do that again. That's not a problem. And Kendra says, do you have a success story to share, including mind shifts and kids in the program? Good one.
Yeah, I actually have one. This is a kid that was involved in the program, not the particular program. It was a kid that was involved in one of the workforce development programs. I'll leave it at that. This kid, he's actually one of my mentees. I still talk to him probably twice a week. He's a really good kid now, but again, the same situation. Single parent household, just his mom. He the oldest of five. At 17, he almost didn't graduate, not because of his intelligence level, just because he would miss school.
Right.
Not even miss whole days of school, but like one of his little siblings was sick or whatever, he'd be the one to leave school to go get him, take him home. Like your typical story, like, bro, you have potential, but it's just not working out. So he actually got introduced to one of our workforce development programs, and he was really, really frustrated. So like I talked about the test at the end of it, the CAS test that you got to take, the English and math test, because he missed so much of his senior year.
Right.
He was a little behind, so he didn't necessarily have the skill set to pass it. So he ended up going through the program. He took the test and he failed it. So he was like dejected at that point. I didn't hear from him for 3 weeks. I called his mom. His mom said she ain't seen him in 2 weeks. She has no idea where he's at, what he's doing, because at that point, like, his heart was broken. Like, his dreams was crushed. He felt like, only thing he had was the street. So I actually got in my car. I drove down to I say where he's from. He's from DC. I drove down to DC, found him, brought him up where I live for 3 days. Just had him up here. We just chopped it up, just chilled and talked. Ended up, he was able to retake the test again. So I was able to I know a couple teachers where I live at, an English teacher and a math teacher that were able, on their own time, took probably about 3 weeks and just tutored him, got him up to speed with his reading comprehension, got his math skills up. So he was able to take the test again, passed it, was able to secure employment with the utility company in his area. Right now, he just reached his 1 year mark, I want to say 4 days ago. Oh, so he's thriving now. I still got to talk to him a little bit, because I talked to him maybe about around Christmas time. He was like, "Oh man, Mr. TJ, I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm about to treat myself to a Benz for Christmas." I was like, no, you're not. Like, no, you're not. That's not what you about to do. That's not the game plan. But it's just, he's just so excited because now he's making good money. So he feels like the world is his oyster. And you still gotta be smart with the money you're making. So I was like, nah, you're not. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it. You're coming up on a year. When he made his year, I called him, was like, "Yo, I'm so proud of you, man. You have no idea. You're 19 years old. You got a great career ahead of you." We talk all the time. I tell you all the time, like, now once we're here, you're gonna have to start thinking about your circle, about the people you hang with, because now you're different than your friends, because your friends are still in a whole different lifestyle, whole different thing you're doing, and it don't take much to get you caught up and for you to blow this opportunity. So now you're here. You got to start thinking about different ways to live, and it's going to hurt. You have to cut people off. I've had to cut people off. Every time, when you grow up and you're grown and you start establish that you're going to do something different, you got to cut people off, because you can't get caught in their nonsense. So, but we're working on that now. But right now, it just feels good to know that, he's on a straight and narrow, and he got a shot. He's going to be able to, live a life that otherwise he probably wouldn't have, or never thought that he could. So I just got to work with him on that money management, because a Benz right now is probably one of the worst decisions he can make right now.
Exactly. So, but that's great. And that's awesome. You told him that, because again, your circle going to change eventually, because like you said, your mindset changes and everything. And as time goes on, that's what happens. So again, that was an awesome story. And, thanks for that, TJ. You saved the life, brother. You know what I'm saying? So, I commend you on that one there. And we have Robert Dickerson. He says, I wanted to say this is that financial literacy is a big thing that we should focus on. My thing of doing it was learning the Robinhood app. It's a great start. You got a little bit of money shaking around. You got a little bit of money you can shake around. So okay, that's the Robinhood app. Okay, we're gonna take a look at that. Awesome. Thanks for that, Rob. We appreciate that. And Tom Robinson says the workforce should reassemble the community you're working in. That breaks down barriers of communication that can reach the youth. Great forum, gentlemen. That's true. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that. And keep the comments coming. If anybody got anything out there, definitely keep them coming. We definitely appreciate that. And thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, that's an awesome story, man. Definitely. And love it.
Yeah. Hope to have more of them real soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, let me get on your heels of that and ask you, how many kids are part of the program? Just
Right now, we got 15 people, 15 young men and women involved in the program. Hoping to start another program very shortly, and my goal is to have 20 young adults involved in that program as well. So looking to really make some change in some numbers, and so I had one of my program participants checked in too. So it was good to see that he checked in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you gotta be a kid. I want to.
Well, again, the utility companies, they have programs geared to different markets. For the particular program that I'm in the middle of right now, that is for high school juniors and seniors. Trying to give kids opportunity right out the gate. Some of the other things that I'm working on a young adult program. I'm working on actually a reentry program for people that have made a mistake in their life, but they coming home and they're looking for something to do to keep them on the straight and narrow. That's something that's very, very personal to me. So definitely working on a reentry program for folks. And getting the information about these programs is critical. So, if you guys will have me back, the more, when I get more information about it and I get the necessary clearances to give names and locations, I definitely want to do that. But overall, we have programs for everyone, for high school students, middle school students, STEM programs, college programs, young adult programs, and really working on that reentry program. That's going to happen.
That's awesome, man. Hey, let me ask you a question. So you said some of the qualifications, but what are the qualifications? I know you said high school. You're trying to get a young adult, but is there any qualifications as far as grades, or they have to have a certain amount of, I don't know, experience in certain anything, or what is the qualification, or anyone could just sign up? How does that work?
For the program?
Yeah, for the program.
Yeah, for the program is focused, for our underserved communities is the focal point. So we want people that come from not disadvantage, because I don't want to use that word, but I'm looking to affect communities that have been affected by systemic racism. You're talking about systemic racism. You're talking about economically. You're talking about educationally, like the markets that really need it. So those are where my programs is focused. So I try to look by zip code. I partner with different agencies that have access to kids who may be on government assistance, that may be on a whole host of different things. Like those are the kids and the young adults that need this kind of opportunity the most. So we're really focused on our underserved and our underdeveloped and our under-resourced communities. That's the word I was looking for. Under-resourced communities. Not so much that they can't do it, but they just don't have access to the resources that other communities do have.
Awesome, man. I love it. We definitely need those programs. Definitely, we let these youth see a different light, man. You know what I mean? And get refocused again, because it's getting bad out there, man. You see it all the time on the different news outlets and stuff like that. And again, I commend you on that. And anything you need as far as Feel Good Talk or whatever, Williams World, anything here, just let us know, and we'll definitely, even if we got to come out, to the event and run a live shoot, come out there, we could do that as well. So, whatever you need from us, whatever you need from us, we'll come out there, we'll interview some of the students, whatever we need to do, and make it happen, because we love doing this. This is what we do. We do for the community. So
that'd actually be great, because the more people, the more support that the people in these programs see that they have from people they know, people they don't know, from the communities at large. That's ticket. That's really the, as the people in my, I can't believe I'm about to use this word, but as my boss like to say, that's the secret sauce. Like, but it is. that's the secret sauce. The kids seeing the support and the rally of people behind them, and that, you know, they got people that don't even know that they do know that care and invested in their future. Like, that's how you get people to stick with these kind of things and believe in themselves if they lack the belief. So, you know, that would be great.
Yeah, and the young men you had there, and the young women, they were great. I mean, they kept me. The event that we had on Wednesday, they kept me there. Man, it was getting dark. I said, "All right, look, I got to go." But they were so interested in, you know, becoming a part of the utility family. I was like, "Wow!" I said, "I just hope everything goes well for them," because they were so excited, man. Like, it was like they, you know, they hit the lottery. You know, they were like, "Yo, I can't wait. You know, I'm gonna be doing this." They already had it all planned out. So I'm sitting there talking to her like, "Okay, well, calm down. You know, you got to, you got to do it like this, and we got, you know." So, but it's an awesome program, and like I said, the youth there, they were really, really good. I ain't gonna say kids, good young men and good young ladies. So, hey, we do got one that's very, very that I would like to get out there, because this is a good one right here. All of them are great, but are there any women linemen?
You know, we've been trying to not diversify that field. Not only you know, by you talking about by racial lines or by, you know, religion, whatever lines, but by gender lines. Now, women can be linemen. Like, I've worked with a woman lineman at a previous utility company. She was a lineman, did everything linemen did, climb poles, you know, everything that hung wire, everything that we did, she did. So, you know, even though it's for the people who know about it, they stereotype it as a male industry. Would love to recruit women linemen and get them, you know, into the field, and that's across all utility jobs in general. I work with a female in a different department in the utility field. You know, she outworks some of the men there, so it's not even, you know. It's that's another stereotype that we gotta break down, that these jobs are specifically for men. We'd love to get some of our young women involved in these careers too.
Yeah, I mean, as a former lineman, I can speak for myself. It's not easy. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because some of the conditions we work in, some of the things we have to do is just crazy. So again, like I said, you know, everything has put it like this. I'm just saying it is rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. So, you know, kudos to the women that get through it and do it, because I'm telling you, it's rough. It's a rough field to be in. You know, especially the nights we're putting in long hours, constantly long hours. You have to find restrooms to relieve yourself, and sometimes, you know, it's harder for women to find certain, you know, areas to relieve. You know, it's just a lot to it. So again, we, like I said, I've seen one line lady. I'm gonna say line lady. I think it was in. I ain't gonna say no names, but I've seen one, and that was it. So,
but speaking of Chuck, did you see on Wednesday when the one young woman, she handled that jackhammer like it was nothing, when some of the young men was out there struggling?
I was making fun. I was out there guys out there.
She took it as I messed around, and I think I insulted her, because I was like, and I grabbed the jackhammer. I was like, hold on. I asked one of the young men to get it. She was like, why you ain't asked me? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I ain't want no smoke. She went over there and grabbed that thing, and I was like, you know what? I need to stop that. I need to stop my unconscious bias, because she can handle this thing like no problem. So,
and I was over there laughing, because I was over there taking pictures. You know, I was over there cracking up. You know, but again, that's just the gentleman side coming out of you, man. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
She checked me, and I'm glad she did.
Yeah, and that's good. But you know, that was the gentleman side. Go ahead. I'm sorry, you.
In it either. You're not seeing that, a woman with the jackhammer. We got women laborers, and some of them, like you said, outwork the guy. I mean, you know, it's like you're gender blind. Like, okay, you don't, you know, they get it, you know, and we'll get offended, like you just said. Let me get that. I got it. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I mean,
that was definitely the case.
Carpenters. I've seen women carpenters, women steam fitters. I mean, you know, unless you see it, you frivolous to it. But when you see it, it becomes common to you. It's nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, it's like, okay, what's going on? Okay, oh, I didn't know. Okay, I had that. But yeah, I see it all too common now.
Yeah, I mean, it could be done. Don't get me wrong. And like I said, it's just a rough profession. I'm not gonna lie to you. Long hours, you know, and you're in all types of weather sometimes, and you know, I mean, like I said, some of the conditions you're working in is just all horrific. So again, you know, it is possible, but it's rough. It's rough, and it's rough for men too. I'm not talking about just women. I'm talking about it takes a special person to become a lineman. I'm gonna be honest with you, because a lot of people don't make it. I mean, I remember my class size we had 22, and only 7 of us came through. So I'm just letting you know. Well, actually, we started with 10, and then after that, it dwindled down to about 7, because it was 22, then it went to 10, and then it went down to 7. And then, you know, from there it went on from there. But it's a rough profession, but it's definitely rewarding. It's definitely something that, you know, you're proud of. I mean, you go out there, who does that? Not too many people, you know what I mean? So who's going to climb up that pole, put that wire up and sleeve that thing together, or either put whatever you got to do, you know what I mean? It's like I said, the work is just not too many people can do that type of work. So again, you know, kudos to everybody that's out there doing it. We got some 2 major questions here that we have, and this is another great one. Kendra Moore says, while I understand the community need, as a single mom not in an underserved community, it is still hard to find mentor programs for my son where he can be mentored by African American leaders. Consider this for all kids.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah. But see, Kendra, what we're saying is a lot of times, I think the kids that are underserved are, you know, more so affected by all the negativity, more so like they don't see, you know, sometimes they don't see people doing great things. They see the negative things. They think that's what they need to do. So I understand why they're going this route, you know, because I was when I was coming up, I was you know, in an area where we were underserved, and you know, you didn't, unless you left that block, you didn't see anything. You understand what I'm saying? So I could see, you know, I understand why, but that is still no reason why they shouldn't have anything for the African American children in, you know, not an underserved community. You know, it's to still be something there. So hey, if we find anything, we'll definitely let you know, and we'll go from there. Robert Dickerson says, yeah, brother, another piece of information. I want to let you all know that the Relief American Relief Program just doesn't cover the $1,400 check. It also has a portion that you can get your credit cleared. Do a little research on the American Relief Program. It just doesn't cover the $1,400 they gave out. Okay. Hey, thanks for that information, Rob. We appreciate that. And she says, true. I hear you, Charles. And Kendra also says, Robert, you should start a financial mentor program. There you go. There you go, Rob. You know. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Hey, what we're going to do is take a commercial break, and we're going to come right back with Mr. Tj Thornton. All right, here we go. All right, that is the A game. Again, good for vitality, energy, strength, and libido. Men, if you want to get your A game on, please give me a call at 302-723-2836 to get a free sample of the A game. I got 3 more samples. Izzy and them always tease me about that because I always say the same number all the time, but I'm just generous and I keep giving out stuff for free. So again, hit me up. Let me know if you are interested in getting your A game on. And I also want to tell people exactly where they can follow us at. They can follow us on LinkedIn at Feel Good Talk, Facebook at Feel Good Talk, YouTube at FGT Mind, Body, Soul, and Business, and also on Instagram at feelgood.talk. Also, we have programs here every day of the week here at Feel Good Talk. So I definitely want to tune you in and get you up to date with it. Let me get this out of here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm rushing, going through it too fast. There you go. Boom. And here we go right here. All right, we have live shows, all the live shows during the week. We have Feel Good Talk, Love 101. That is on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. with my man Naeem Najib. He talks about the universal principles of love. So check that out on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. That's Feel Good Talk, Love 101. We also have Let's Talk About It on Thursdays at 7 p.m. with Kendra Moore and Izzy Meditates. They have awesome conversations. Definitely check that one out. And tonight, as you can see, we have Williams World Friday at 6 p.m. Always a good time on Williams World. On Sundays, we have Jamila J's Girl Talk on Sunday. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then right after Jamila, we have Gimme Some Sugar Baking with Steven on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We also have pre-recorded shows. Mindfulness Mondays with Izzy Meditates on Monday at 9. She definitely showed you how to get the week started with some great meditation. We have Words from the Heart with Shayna Gordine on Tuesdays. Definitely words of inspiration and motivation. We also have More Life with Essential Oils on Wednesday at 9 a.m. She does all kinds of stuff with essential oils. This week she had a spray for your mask. So definitely check that out. And then last but not least, we have Cassandra's Corner on Saturday at 10 a.m. This is for the kids. Cassandra, she interviews kids. She does all kinds of arts and crafts, all kinds of reading. So we definitely have a whole bunch here for you right here at Feel Good Talk. So definitely check us out. All right, back to you, Will.
Well, we almost at that time, so I'm going to ask you, TJ, in the near future, because I'm really interested in that reentry initiative you're going to start as well. But I want to ask you two things. One, do you have a logo of any sort that we could help promote you with? And two, do you feel as though you'll be able to join us, because we have some events coming up as well? I don't want to get into them, bluntly, right now, but we have some events coming up, and what we're going to try to do is, entice the youth to come in to these events. So I figure, it could go hand in hand. You can get out there with your presentation and see what we can do. You know what I mean? Try to like strengthen numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. For the logo, nah, we don't have a logo. That's probably something I should work on. So that gives me something to brainstorm over the weekend. Yeah. For the other part of it, any event, and that goes for anybody, on the call listening that knows somebody, any kind of event that someone has, that someone from any utility company or anyone that's involved with any kind of workforce development can come speak to, reach out and touch the youth. Always willing, more than willing to do anything like that. Anytime, personal time, weekends, whatever. That's what we're here to do. So absolutely, 100%.
Awesome. Yeah, because I want to get that gas truck and the line truck out there, electric truck and the gas truck, because I think that'd be awesome education, as far as our gas and electric awareness for the youth and also adults too, because a lot of them don't know, what it does and how it works. So that'd be an awesome thing to do. So we have to get the clearance on that though. But again, that'd be awesome. So we'll talk about it. We'll put something together, I think, for the youth, and I think they'll definitely enjoy it. Something that they can come to and really have a great time, and also learn and be educated about the utility business as well. So we're gonna work on that. That sounds great. Yeah. So hey, we do got some more comments. I think I'll get to those right quick. And let's see what we got here. Let's see. Okay. We got Taymu. He says, Cuzzo, my main man. What's up? What's going on, Taymu? Thanks for tuning in. And Will answered him. He's the man of many different jobs. He says, what's up with you? All good. And Lakia says, hello, Chuck and Williams World and guests. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Lakia. We definitely appreciate you. And Kendra speaks to Taymu, said, what's up, Taymu? And again, Taymu says, Kendra Garrett, how are you, my beautiful friend? And she says, it's Friday, I'm good. All right. So, like I said, we have a family affair here. So everybody wants to know how everybody's doing and stuff. And we definitely appreciate it. And I don't know, man, this was an awesome interview, man. Hey, TJ, awesome work you're doing out there for the community. And like I said, next time we're going to bring some of the youth on and, let them tell their story, because like I said, when they were very excited that day, very, very excited. So I would love to hear what they have to say, and their take on everything that's going on. So
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
Cool.
we had about that allotted time. But before we sign off, I do recommend you get a program for guys in their late 30s, like me. We can talk about that another time. But we do appreciate you sharing this with us and everybody, and having Tom, making the time to spend with us, and we'll be doing some more endeavors pretty soon, and we appreciate you and all that you do, here at Food.
Yeah, thank you. And one more thing that I know we got to sign off real quick. I know I want to make sure that I send my thanks and appreciation, because I know there are some people listening for all. I talked a lot about my mentorship in my younger years, but I got a lot of people that helped me along this journey along the way. A lot of the senior people that worked in utility company that that was there before I came in, that helped me along this journey, that are my support system, that are still my mentors, that check me when I need to get checked, that support my ideas and endeavors. So I want to take this moment to say thank you to all of you. It's always appreciated, it's recognized, and I just want to make sure I give y'all flowers too.
Exactly, definitely. And we got some comments down here thanking you, Big Tom. Tay Mugash says, thank you, TJ, for all you do. Nate Jones says, what's up, bro? And Kendra Moore says, great show. Keep doing it, TJ. You are a change maker. Definitely. So, again, thanks for all those comments. And, man, I had a great time today, man. Great time.
That was great.
Always.
Awesome.
All right, my man, TJ. We'll be seeing you soon again, hopefully. For TJ.
Yes, sir.
My main man Chuck and myself, God bless, good night. See y'all next Friday.
Peace.